Let's go better. Woo! Woo!
Yes, sir.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Kicking It with
Kris and
Karlos. We are gay,
Black,
married, and funny as fuck. Hold on to your panties because we're gonna get politically incorrect. So don't make sure your panties are not in the top. We're joined by a good friend,
Veronica.
Let
me give you a fake name.
Veronica.
Yeah, Veronica.
Veronica.
I don't know about all that. I don't know. We can just say V. V's fine.
V fine. Is V fine?
Yeah,
Okay.
V's fine. Yeah, that's right.
I know you're not doing that, Grace.
I got a couple of names.
Okay, well, welcome guys. Like I said, this is our last episode before our hiatus. We are rebranding. That means we're gonna have a new cover photo for you guys, new segments. We're gonna have what else? I don't know, new shit. So I'm also taking a break because I need a break. So, but definitely go and listen to the old episodes. I know all y'all niggas haven't listened to every 85 episodes. So definitely go and listen to the episodes that you haven't listened to. Definitely go and check us out in our original episodes when it was the KKK podcast. That was a time in history.
That was a wild time.
Woo,
That was a
child.
fun time, though.
Yes. And let's see. That's the only current thing that's going on with us. Do you have any updates, Kris?
No, not really. Life's been at work has been different, but I'll get to that in the what I call it, the Cubicle Chronicles.
Cubicle Chronicles. Okay, well, let's move into the current events. This is current events. If you missed it, we'll cover it. Thanks, Veronica.
Right back at you, Steve.
Steve.
And we'll have the weather with Macy.
Come on, Macy.
Gray.
Gray. The weather's gray. Okay.
Very
Very
Seattle.
Macy Gray.
Oh, Macy
Oh,
Gray.
come on.
Okay.
Okay, well, McDonald's is selling a quarter-pounder candle pack.
Yeah, you get the buns, you get the meat, you get the pickles, and they all smell like food.
It's a candle.
It's a candle
It's a candle.
that all comes apart.
Yeah, and well, no, it's like different like jars of candles, so you can put them
Oh,
together and it's
okay,
a quarter
good.
Oh
pounder.
no, I thought it was like a build your own quarter pounder.
Wow.
Oh.
See, house like McDonald's all the time, but them quarter pounders these.
But why would you want your house to smell like McDonald's all the time?
Fat white people?
That's some fat white people shit.
That's sad.
The same people that order 2 Dr. Peppers all posted.
Man, listen, I had this person deliver they asked for only 2 Dr. Peppers, and I was about 7 miles away from them. And with no ice, I remember. And they got 2 Dr. Peppers with no ice, and they paid me $9 to deliver $4 sodas. Their total came up to
What?
$17.
For
With
two,
tips.
just 2 Dr. Peppers.
Just 2 Dr. Peppers.
Sometimes you need Dr. Pepper.
But they kind of were in a weird spot where if you didn't have a car, they lived right under the bridge, right before you got a new district, before you got over to like Capitol Hill. So they were like, you ain't getting.
There wasn't no corner store.
No.
A grocery store.
No.
Bitch, you got a soda straight.
He's at a gas station.
Like,
You got a little mart or something?
Something,
Like,
like Circle
stand
K.
or
No,
something.
nothing
Lord
of the
mercy.
sorts. Could you scroll over, Kris, because you're not really in the YouTube one. Okay, so the McDonald's selling the quarter pounder pack, that's interesting. French TV is accused of racism for putting rape victim in blackface to conceal identity. I saw that. I was listening to a podcast about that yesterday.
So that's what we doing is if you're a white woman, you just put on blackface, nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
I have been in my college did that.
Your college did.
Yes.
What college did you go
I went
to?
to Lee University.
Where's
In
Lee
Tennessee. I will
University?
call
In
it out on the
Tennessee?
microphone.
Where's Lee?
It's in
They got
Cleveland,
video. They got video of this.
It was on CNN.
Lee, like Robert E.
The
Lee?
girls dressed up and put white. They put blackface on. They wrote on their shirts "My nigga," like the song "My nigga," and took photos of it and posted it. And it was like a Halloween party or something. But it was a sorority.
I'm not surprised.
And they literally was like,
My motherfucking nigger.
Damn it.
they had deuces up, and there was a black boy standing in between it.
He need to get his ass beat.
Oh, he needs to definitely get his ass beat.
Oh yeah, they literally got
Or they're
like,
fucking him, and that's why
suspended.
they feel so comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the Greek guys from the fraternity that was the brothers of the sorority. So of course it was a thing. So
Keep doing the same way.
Oh yeah, keep that.
I'm measuring it to the way you're doing it.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
I do my stand up like that.
Okay,
so, but
cool.
it just does. If you hold it away, you have to do a different.
Okay.
A different sound.
I'm understanding. I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so then CNN came and questioned us and asked us what we thought about it, and I was just like, I think that's crap. But see, I was also in theater and somebody else dressed up in blackface, and nobody noticed it and said anything about it.
Because
So
they-
Well, here's the thing. So here's
because
my
they
thing.
weren't supposed to be dressing up like that. They were just playing
Here's
around with
Grayson. Go put that
makeup.
bone up. Here's my thing. Like, black people don't dress up in whiteface.
There's no option. I mean, we don't have no.
Leave me a mommy.
I mean, mom wise, yeah, but I don't think.
Look, what if you did with what homegirl from Love and Hip Hop did? Oh, Spice.
Spice?
Yes.
My skin don't do well with that type of stuff, so.
And a lot of people in Jamaica and in the Bahamas do that. I mean, that's a real.
The skin lightening
That
creams.
really is a real thing. But I mean, back in the day, they were doing that in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. They were like, be more brighter, be more lighter. That's why I don't trust light skin people.
I know. I mean, Chris and I talk about this all.
Light, bright,
Damn show ain't white.
Show as hell the truth. You ain't lying, okay?
Speaking of not lying, the coronavirus told us they are not playing. Like, this might be the next epidemic of the world.
All right, so since I made this story, it actually went up to 80,212.
And that's how many, and that's in mainland cases in China. There have also been cases in, I think, Britain, New Zealand, here in America.
The Diamond Princess.
Oh, okay.
And Canada. So it's here. I'm gonna order some masks. And I think what if this was the World War III done? Like, what if this was man-made?
This is it?
What if this is it?
It's kind of boring. Ain't no zombies.
You don't know.
I mean,
when they come, you can go high.
I saw a car that said Zombie Official Patrol Officer or something like that. The car had a whole sticker and everything. Like, this brother is ready.
But there's also, like, in Florida, they have, like, zombies versus humans.
Yeah.
And the people would dress up as, like, zombies, and other people dress up in Nerf guns, and you just run around campus, and you find zombies and kill them.
Damn.
But there was an epidemic that happened in Florida when they were eating those bath salts and they were turning into zombies.
We were there.
We were there.
They were eating
Oh,
the face. We lived in Florida when I had a man when I worked at the Web Finn. If you listen to the show, you've heard the story before. This guy was taking bath salts and he tried to he attacked me at the Web Finn when I was working there at third shift, and he tried to attack me with a screwdriver, said he was gonna gut me like a fish. And then he said he was gonna make my liver quiver because he wanted me to fuck him.
I heard that. I listened to that one.
Wow.
Yes, put some poke on your fork.
Some poke on your fork. That's on she pork.
Speaking of dick, Lil Boosie said that that little boy shouldn't cut his dick off.
That's not a little
now,
boy.
that's not my saying. I didn't say that before y'all come in my DMs.
He said, "Don't cut his dick off."
That's what Little Boosie was saying about Gabrielle Union and Dwayne.
What's
I was gonna call him Newton, but that's not his name.
Zaya.
Dwayne Wade. Zaya.
Zaya.
Their new daughter.
That baby looks beautiful. Look better than half them niggas that's talking shit.
See, I'm not gonna say look. I'm not gonna. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna judge a 12-year-old on their looks. So
they still developing.
Because they're still developing, and that's weird. That's fair. But I will say that a grown man shouldn't be. Why are you concerned about what he's doing with his dick?
Right.
Or their dick. I'm sorry.
Or her, because she
well,
goes by
that
her.
still goes by. You can. Their ghost covers everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for a grown ass man to even go down there. Why are you so like that?
But that's not just him. A lot of people came out and said it. Like a lot of grown men came out and said it.
Like
50 Cent came out and said, I did a mockery.
Yeah.
There are a lot of grown ass men out here talking about this little girl's penis.
But why are y'all so worried? Do y'all want to see it?
That is.
What do you feel about it, V?
I think that I don't know. I think that Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union are taking a step towards a lot of what.
It's the first time that we've seen a black family do it.
Help me say it. Yeah,
this is some white shit. This is some white shit.
Yeah.
Not in our community. And then, even when you do see it in our community, it's not about. They can't say shit about Dwayne or Gabrielle. So you have to give them respect.
Right.
Like
Right.
if you don't, bitch, you can't.
You just hateful.
That's just like when Cher's daughter went to transition.
Exactly.
That's
You
the
Butch
same
Cassidy.
thing. Yeah, that's the
You
same
couldn't
thing.
say it because Cher's the bitch. You couldn't.
Right,
That's like
Cher's
if
the shit.
Beyonce's daughter or son ever came out and was like, "Oh, we're trying," and everyone's lips will be quiet.
Literally.
Question of how.
But it's unfair because not every black trans person's gonna have that power. And I think Zaya knows she has that power. That's why she's speaking up.
Because
and that's what
she
she
can.
said. She's like, we have to speak up
But
because
that's
we
using
have this
that's
power.
using your platform to the best of your ability. I mean, with me working with queer children,
But you know, the same niggas that are on Instagram saying like, "Oh, I commend Dwayne and I love Zaya," are the same niggas that are calling trans fat faggots and killing them on the real streets.
Little scrapping.
A little scrappy.
Oh, a little scrappy like the
Oh,
Like
what's
put
the
the
name?
paws on you, scrappy.
I put the paws on you.
No, dude from Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah,
Yeah, little scrappy put the
Scrappy.
paws on you.
Oh yeah, forgive me.
He was called what a transgender.
He had said something on his Instagram about somebody being transgender, and he was like, "You ain't nothing but a nigga, and I'll come whoop your ass." It's on.
Yep,
it
and
happened
that's
like
how
last
they
year ago.
feel.
And that's the crazy part because Kevin Hart's doing the same thing. Like they all in the industry doing the same
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like for me personally, I think that it's something that needs to be addressed and done in the Black and African American community because I grew up in the church.
Well, you know what?
That stuff is passing by.
I'll be the first one to tell you, we ain't dealing with no type of trans issues anytime soon because they don't even accept me
Right.
as a cis gay male.
Just
do you
being
like?
what it
I'm being 100% honest.
Amen.
I can't even sit in a room full of straight men
And feel comfortable.
and
yeah.
and without them feeling uncomfortable and without there being some type of friction. So
I've always felt more comfortable around guys because I was a drummer in church, so I was always classified as the homie. That's why I was like, okay, well, she's a lesbian, but I couldn't sit around the girl of the church. Like when we would do our
Because
dances and
they-
why
everything
couldn't you
in
sit
church.
around the girls?
Because
Because
their
I
mama
was-
saying that she's trying to do something to her.
And then they would
It is.
call my mama and say stuff like, well, we got that. We got to pray for that spirit on her. She got
Yeah.
some spirit.
When I
on her.
came out, I was called an abomination and a faggot. So I was gonna
Oh,
burn in hell.
yes.
Yeah, his mom used to go back and forth too. Like his mom used to be like, "Oh, I accept y'all," and then the next week, "Y'all are faggots." I was like,
Y'all
"Listen,"
nothing but abomination. Like
I was
That's what
like,
I'm saying. Like, when we
"Listen."
were young,
I
like
can't.
our generation, we couldn't just be like
gay.
gay. And like this baby is literally being like, okay,
Not
this is
only
an
am I
opportunity
gay,
for me
I'm-
to be like, look,
I'm
not
gay.
only am I gay.
I'm now queer.
Well, they never said
and
that they
I'm
were gay.
transitioning. Well, she
Right.
no it
Transgender has nothing to do with your
well,
sexuality.
No, originally Zaya
According to
said
Bruce-
that she was
Oh,
gay.
he came out with the pride thing.
With the pride
That's true.
thing.
He did come out
And
as
then
gay.
flipped it around
Because
to
then, because
transgender.
remember he was doing pride, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute. Their son's gay. That is true." And then with the
Oh,
pride,
right. But
and they
that was
supported
the-
him
and
with
then
the
the
pride
t-shirts and everything
with
they
the
had.
yeah, and then now they flipped it, and it was like, "Well, I'm a transgender," and it was like, "Oh," and now everyone was like, "I don't really know how to handle it." But I
It's
Why
not for you
the
to
hell do
handle it.
you even give a shit? Make
Right.
your own coin and let this baby live her life. Let this child do something that we couldn't do when we were children.
Yeah.
Because when I was 12 years old, I was getting put in the church and doing what I was supposed to be doing this way, that way, this way, that way, this way. A lot of my success as a kid and coming into an adult in college was through a certain way of doing stuff. So it's hard for me to put my resume now as a grown up and being who I am next to my Christian resume.
Yeah, we were speaking about that
Yeah,
before.
half the time you pass by and don't even look at the kid. You think, oh, he might have a little sugar in his sink or something like that. You might be like the choir director of all gospel churches.
Chris ain't their choir director gay?
Yes, he is.
That's what
Got
I'm
a
saying.
full husband.
The uncle
Got a
knows.
full-
full family. They already
Yeah,
know
full
what's
family
going on.
and an ex-wife and a daughter.
With a full
Yeah,
husband.
and we don't say nothing about it. I'm like,
But
this
then,
child,
but then I step in the
come
church.
on, preach about it.
But then I step in the church, they don't talk about stuff. Oh, and but they got the nerve talking about, but y'all gay boys got some good jobs, so you can put extra towards the stained glass. I'm not paying for your stained glass, bitch.
No, them stained glass has been broken since 2005. It is not
Talk
2012.
about can you put your name on a
Nobody
brick?
giving no
No, I don't want my
damn
name on no motherfucking brick.
I don't even like Baptist church.
I don't need a street.
No,
They buying bricks for the new church.
A brick for the church.
For the church.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Oh right. Like the prayer
And
cross
not
and
even a
everything.
good
Yeah.
brick. I don't brick of cocaine, nothing. Go and put my name
Come
on
on.
an actual cement brick for
The
y'all to
actual
sit there
thing. Lord
and
have
not
mercy.
have this shit done. And it's been 12 years.
That's a mess.
That was a mess. Well, that was that. I mean, I say everyone. I feel like we should wrap that up with just like mind your business.
Yeah.
And if you don't
Leave it
understand, there's a thing called Google.
Yeah, just Google it.
And if
Look
you
it
still
up.
don't understand after that,
Maybe
maybe
it
it wasn't
ain't for
for
you.
you. Like that's literally also an option.
My mama always told me you can't save everybody. Everybody can't know everything. You just don't need to always know what the hell's going on.
Sometimes you don't.
You just can't know everything. Yeah.
Well, let's move on into the caucasity.
This is my favorite part.
No, you're good. You know the song? It's the caucasity, caucasity, caucasity. Watching your privilege go pow, 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 pow. Fuck it up, Sheila.
Fuck it up, Randy.
You're the first guest that we've had that actually has sang the song.
I love it.
No one ever sings the songs with us.
What's the bitch name?
Clarice.
Zyra.
What's the best name?
You know.
She's from last week.
Yeah, did she sing it?
No.
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 She definitely ain't saying
Nigga, she put her whole mic down.
You talking about JoJo?
No, not JoJo.
That was a different one.
Last week we had
What do we call her? Fiona?
Shanice, I don't know. We called her something.
Clarice.
I don't know.
Not Clarice from Signs of the Lamb. He was eating that hoe. Tearing her up.
For some reason, I think that didn't he have like a freezer full of meat?
Oh, I don't remember
this
that.
first
I
one
just
is not
remember
working
the
for
body.
me.
I just remember
Why
body
none
language.
of these links work, Kris, for me? What you do? Why don't they work for you? What did you do?
Just press enter afterwards.
Well, you gotta do the rest of them. So now, I ain't gonna do it. I did press enter. Oh.
Damn, there you go.
Well, I shouldn't have to do that because it should be set. I have a producer to do this. Otherwise, I'm docking your pay.
Not docking.
All right, let's get to up there.
I'm docking like a Players Club. I'm docking your pay.
Okay, so let's talk about you before we go to Caucasity.
We'll set it off.
Set it off, set it off.
help me
We
out.
grew up watching Set It Off and Players Club.
Well,
But-
set it off. I used to
What
see
did we watch the other day?
Fuck it. Something the Lord made.
Something the Lord made.
The day the Lord has made. This
No,
is
no,
the
no,
day?
no.
About the doctor, the
Yeah,
black
but-
doctor. It was something the Lord's made. or
Something
about
the
that.
Lord
Was it
made.
the gay boy with the?
No,
No.
it's about the black doctor who figured out how to do heart surgery, like historical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
the
the
real
Lord
man.
made. Yeah. So
The
That
real
sh-
God, yes.
That shit was good.
It was
And
actually
It was
good.
from back in the early '90s, and I was like, why were we
Early
not watching
2000s.
these movies? And
Go
why-
back to Boys in the Hood, Lawrence Fishburne's speech that he gives in front of the billboard about why we're so brainwashed. We want to kill each other. We want to turn.
It's our
Like
media.
I tried to watch Menace to Society, and I was like, I don't want to.
And then almost, I was like, I told Kris, I was like, I don't want to watch it. And then I started watching it. I was like, this is actually really
It's like,
good.
why can't we see ourselves?
And it was black pride and
Yeah.
black excellence.
because
Oh,
of
my
him,
God.
cardiac surgery became a thing.
I know about the. I do.
John
know about
Hopkins
the,
became on the
surgeon.
maps. Like he
Yes.
became, but then they wouldn't even let that nigga in the front door. Like
He wasn't
they
even a doctor
disrespected
until he
him.
motherfucking retired.
I need to
Until
take-
80
I need-
years old.
I need to see this. I
Okay.
would also like if you have any more of that. I would-
Yes, we got some more.
All right.
appreciate you.
According to the Caucasity, and according to USA Today, former mayoral candidate drugged woman with cupcake to steal a newborn, officials say. A Washington woman and her 16-year-old daughter were arrested and accused of drugging a woman with a tainted cupcake in an attempt to kidnap her newborn child and raise it as her own.
Girl.
Juliet Parker, 38, allegedly used a number of aliases such as Juliet Noel and Juliet Gaines, which may have been used to contact unsuspecting parents as a baby photographer. Both Parker and her daughter were arrested Friday on suspicion of attempted kidnapping and assault per the Pierce County Sheriff. That's close. Pierce County, ain't
That's
that?
right down the street.
Kitsap? That's-
Yep, Kitsap County.
Oh, we're not too far.
According to the sheriff's office, Parker joined newborn parenting groups on Facebook and offered free photos for parents in order to build her portfolio. But police believe she had more nefarious plans in mind. She wanted babies, 5 weeks and younger, so she could raise it herself, take it out of state, and pretend it was a newborn of her own. That's smart.
That's why, and you know what? That is smart. That baby would have been gone.
Yeah, that baby would never know until she needs a birth certificate
Until you need a birth certificate.
or a social security card.
Yeah, that could be years.
Oh my
College
God.
years.
Like that one show we saw in Iyanla, and that lady kidnapped that black girl.
Yeah.
And then she found her mom 18. She only found out she was a kidnapped victim because she tried to get a job. And they're like, you need a birth certificate. Her mom, she kept like, Mom, I need my birth certificate. I need this job. And finally, after like years for asking for her birth certificate, her mom broke down and was like, I don't have one because you're not my baby. And then,
Lord have mercy.
and then her real mom and her fake mom were on Iyanla Fix My Life, trying to work it
What
out.
was the yelling doing? Holding their hands like
Beloved.
this?
Beloved.
Beloved.
This ain't it. Beloved, this
Beloved.
is not the time.
But no, the girl was rude. The little girl was rude.
Because she needs to go to therapy. She's been kidnapped for 18
She
years.
was like, she called Iyanla. She's like, stop talking to me, you old bitch. I was like, you don't talk to Iyanla like
She was the one that
that.
tried to
Not
fight
TT.
Iyanla.
Oh, and then she wanted to go home.
Yeah,
or
she was like, I want to go home,
That's
you old
why I was
bitch.
like, girl, I never knew why that girl was talking about that. Thank you,
All her
Jesus.
life.
I never knew why she was cussing her out. Because she was like, I don't want to, bitch, what the fuck you doing?
Bitch, you don't even know me, bitch. Bitch, you don't even know me.
Bitch, I don't even know me.
I will drag you, bitch.
And the daddy was saying that, oh, she has a temper problem. And then y'all was like, I don't give a fuck. You don't let no child talk. This is my shit. Like, I remember that. I never knew why she, that makes a lot of sense. Poor baby.
Poor baby.
Oh my gosh. How would you even like,
Why would Iyanla pick that up as the first thing that she does?
They needed to go to therapy first.
Because she needed that for
Well,
TV.
we can't, I'm not.
That's my,
We're not at liberty to say to our opinions and our experience with Iyanla, but it is coming up after March, since I know they're filming
Because I feel
we've been through that program.
we'll get to there in March, but I feel that
Still under NDA, so can't say anything.
We'll be listening.
Okay. One mother, whom police didn't identify, met with Parker 3 times in her home in Washington. She told police that Parker took selfies with the newborn and white fingerprints of anything she touched. That would have been my first motherfucking clue. Why are you taking pictures with my baby?
Well, because she's a photographer, so I can get that one.
Not no fucking selfie.
Guess what?
That's with your phone.
but then she's wiping. Well, she could have been
Why
like,
you-
I want to wipe it down so I don't leave germs for the baby.
Okay. How about you not get out of here?
Inappropriate.
Or you wear
Well,
gloves?
also, how about these
Why
people not go to her
Because the white woman is so
house?
trusting.
I was gonna say, why is she over there? Why is she there?
Why is she there? Why is she really there?
In 2019, Parker entered a mayoral race in Colorado Springs, Colorado, where she lived for 2 years, according to the Colorado Springs Gazette. She came in second place behind the incumbent John Suthers.
Oh, she didn't do too bad.
I know, that bitch is actually pretty good. She ran on the platform of ending homelessness and the housing crisis in the city with tiny homes, per the Gazette. When asked by the website Ballotpedia what qualities she possessed, that would make her a leader, she said, honest, good, moral code, and compass. Caring, respectful, smart, understanding, common sense, passionate, ethics, ability to think outside the box.
Okay.
That was it.
Well, according to our next story, does that bother her? Caregiver accused for spraying perfume to trigger allergic reaction in woman.
Girl.
Seminole County, Florida, a caregiver who had been hired to help a woman with severe allergies sprayed a large amount of perfume in retaliation after she was fired, causing the woman to have a reaction, according to the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. The woman's victim and her daughter said that they hired Kimberly Shelton on Saturday to work as a live-in caregiver for the victim. Before Shelton was hired, the woman explained that the victim had a severe sensitivity to fragrances and could have a life-threatening reaction to perfume.
First of all, what kind of shit is that? I can't smell nothing.
Cologne, body spray, air fresheners, and the like. So you can't go to the store. So
you just walking around smelling like shit.
Wait, she can't wear deodorant?
Do you go to, can you wear anything?
No, nothing. Probably not deodorant.
What do you?
All
natural. It's probably the chemicals.
All natural. It's the chemicals, and she's allergic to some kind. She's allergic to
I can understand that, but I mean, damn, bitch.
That you go into cardiac arrest?
I mean, that's a little bit too much. You having a whole seizure?
Yeah.
You foaming at the mouth?
She go lay down. Like, how you wash your clothes? Like,
there are those people that have to use
ginger ale.
7th generation everything. Like high sensitivity, like they're shopping only at the.
You can't even smell a flower. Like you ain't just go lay it down.
Remember that episode we were listening to Mysterious Diagnosis or whatever, and that girl who was allergic to water.
That's the race. Yeah, we never watched that. And they took a whole bath all her life.
Hurting and in pain. Or
She's like, I can't drink water. I can't get in water. She can't drink water. She can't get in water. It just makes her feel.
Girl, that's a demon.
Somebody push her in the pool.
She just stepped out of the pool too fast. You take your ass back to hell, girl. You a demon, baby. You are one of the devil's workers. It's time to go home. Because if you allergic to water, bitch, your body is 80% of it.
That's what they said, and
that's what Judge Judy said.
She's almost always dying.
Girl, you is a demon.
Okay, then
Somebody take that girl.
In cases like that, it's better just to honestly just to die and try again. Like, hope for reincarnation, try it again.
Die and try again.
Sometimes you just gotta be like, girl, it's time to go. You just gotta go, baby.
The devil is calling you back home. Just go.
You a little minion. That's what that is.
You left the stove on.
I keep looking
in
at your
hell.
eye because you got something. I'm gonna touch you closely. Okay, I got it. There you go. I got your back.
You
Like
left
I
the-
just
You left the stove on in hell. Go cut it off, baby.
like literally, you
something.
gotta take care of your business, baby girl.
Baby
How
girl.
you wash your ass?
Well, deputies said that Shelton understood that the severity of the victim's condition and said that she would administer the EpiPen if needed. After Shelton was hired, she began drinking heavily at the home and neglecting her work.
Wait a minute. After she was hired, she began drinking heavily
What kind of
at
job?
the home and neglecting her
Because she
work.
lived there.
Bitch.
Well, that's the thing with living. You can't be on. You're on
Call.
You're on call 24/7. So she can't.
You ain't supposed to be drinking.
You really can't drink at all.
Well, then what the hell? Oh,
You're
then-
constantly on call.
Okay, well then.
Wait, let's see what she says. So the victim and her daughter told her on Monday that she was fired, according to the affidavit. Shelton told her she would regret this, then poured a bottle of perfume and sprayed herself in the air surrounding the victims.
Listen,
That lady has.
The
I was
subject-
just trying to screw myself up. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
I'm
little bitch
sorry,
had a
one,
little
two, three.
seizure,
The
yeah.
suspect got
Yeah.
upset and she intentionally sprayed body spray perfumes in the air heavily around the victim. Close your mouth, bitch. I don't know. Deputies said the victim immediately had difficulties breathing and fell forward off her walker.
Okay.
As Shelton
This
stood
is called.
by without helping. Saying, does that bother her? Oops, I forgot. In a sarcastic tone.
You gonna fire me? You know what's fucked up is she carried
Yeah, we
around
swiped that
a
up.
bottle of perfume with her.
She did, because she knew.
She knew this day
She was
was
trying to
coming.
get this lady.
She
This
knew
lady
this
was
day was coming.
contemplating.
And you know what? That means she asked what the lady did to her.
My mom's
That's
having
right.
an allergic reaction. I gave her EpiPen and she's still having trouble breathing, the victim told the 911 operator. Later in the call, the woman explains the Sheldon triggered the reaction.
You can't blame for acts of God. I'm sorry.
I mean,
God
if that lady got a good enough attorney, you
can
really
imagine
can't blame me
God,
for
God
that.
Acts of
don't
God.
that lady was prepared. That's just like Octavia Spencer eat my shit, bitch.
Who?
Eat my shit on The Help when she made that shit pie. She said, "Eat my shit." That's the same kind of shit, right?
We never watched The Help.
You never seen The Help?
No.
There's a scene in The Help where the bitch makes a pie,
Uh-huh.
and it's from the book, and she cooks her shit in the pie and makes
Yeah.
her lady
How?
the lady at her
No, because I'm already thinking, don't somebody shit in the house when you making it?
You can cover up the
The
smell.
reason why she was doing it was because the lady would count the toilet paper to see if she used it or not
Excuse
in
me?
the in the home
Oh,
bathroom.
yeah. Man.
Wait to see if she stole a roll or if she
If
used
she
it.
used that piece of fucking she would literally mark
What do you mean
the,
count?
mark the toilet paper sheet. Mark the sheet. That's some caucasity. She
Yeah.
was marking the sheets to make sure that she didn't go use that bathroom. If she had to go use the bathroom, she had to use one downstairs or something like that. I
Yeah.
can't remember the whole thing, but she made a shit pie. And she was like, "Oh, I love your pies. I love your pies." And the lady in the movie is tearing up this pie, girl. She tearing it up.
Can't be.
I'm talking about, she's like eating it so good, and then Octavia Spencer looks at her, she goes, "Eat my shit." And she
What the lady goes, what?
What you say? She goes, "Eat my shit," and she looks at the pie, bitch. Woo! That girl looked down and was
Wait,
like, "Yes."
what
And it's
kind of pie was
it was
it?
based on true events.
It probably had to be something.
It had like a chocolate pie.
Yeah, it was chocolate pie.
Girl. And you know, back in the day, they didn't know what the hell they was eating half the time. Anyway, everybody was dying and dropping at 25,
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
And that's why
You know,
they.
so
Well,
they
that's,
didn't know. That's why they was drunk, because people was eating
Well,
shit.
that's why
She had on 2 button downs.
Hey, are you judging me?
I was like, she got a lot of buttons. All right.
nigga, we have a decent buttons.
I thought I just put this on to be warm. I
know, that's nice.
I'm warm and
You look cute and
I appreciate
everything.
it. I
Do we say that to
appreciate
them? To you? Do you say cute or
it. Please don't do that with me. I'm old.
you know?
I'm 29. I'm too old.
He said, we said that to you.
I ain't 15 cussing people out, throwing chairs about her being baby.
First of all, I can't be cute because I am.
All right, you have the next story, Chris?
Yes. Missouri girl 11 gives birth in bathtub. Police say 3 relatives charged.
Girl, I am like
Charged with what?
11
Yes,
Yeah.
11.
I mean,
years
she got
old.
pregnant at 10.
You know, was it Trina? Did you know Trina had that song that said, if I could go back in time, I'd be fucking by the time I was 10?
That was Lil Wayne as well.
I was
That
looking
was
before
my
then. Well, I don't think that's
Not
fucking.
called
Well,
fucking.
that ain't what
Oh,
that
you read the
is.
book. We're gonna get to
We gonna
that.
get to Don't be that baby was messed with. No, that's what that was.
All right.
Shit.
3 family members of an 11-year-old Missouri girl who gave birth in a bathtub earlier this month after allegedly being raped by a teenage boy are facing multiple criminal charges. A man and woman are each charged with child endangerment, and a 17-year-old boy faces charges of incest, statutory rape, and statutory sodomy of a child younger than 12. What's the difference between 11 and 12?
You're a preteen when you turn 12.
You're a preteen when you're 11.
Well, 12
All-
goes straight. Pre is pre, so 12, 13.
Okay.
Okay.
All live in St. Louis, in the St. Louis suburb of St. Charles. The woman is accused of failing to provide medical care to the child upon giving birth. The man brought the baby to St. Joseph's Medical Center about an hour after his birth on February 11th. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reported Wednesday. It was still attached to the umbilical cord and the placenta with a body temperature of 90 degrees. That baby was almost out of here, which
Yeah,
prompted
that
police
is
to open an investigation.
Where was the baby at? In the tub.
Yeah, born in the tub, taken to St. Joseph's Medical Center.
So who is the father?
The boy, the 17-year-old.
The brother?
And they said three relatives, so either brother or cousin.
Somebody. But they got charged for statutory incest
Sodomy.
and something.
Authorities said the man was in the U.S. illegally and had previously been deported. He initially said that he didn't know the girl before admitting they were related. According to charging documents, he denied knowing she was pregnant or was being sexually abused until she gave birth. The teen told police he had sex with the girl around 100 times, but did not know she was pregnant. The woman and 17-year-old boy were ordered to remain in custody on $10,000 and $25,000 bonds, respectively. Bail for the man was set at $10,000 cash only.
Kris, how was my bill $25,000?
Because I don't know.
And that was my first time ever getting in trouble with the law. He raped 11-year-olds.
He got 10.
100
cash.
times.
Maybe she's like $10 per time, or yeah, $100 per time you raped her.
No, that's being white. Because he even said we had sex 100 times and I didn't know she was. Who the fuck just said that?
Why the fuck are you fucking a 12-year-old,
And
11-year-old,
why are you
10-year-old,
making that
100
excuse?
times?
She said it's cute.
You got me messed up if you think. That's called white folk.
It
Called
is.
Cassidy.
He was like, well, I wasn't.
Well, it was 100 times.
I
So,
mean, it wasn't like it was a
It wasn't
million.
like she was really like. No, bitch. That just means that you would literally not know.
That means that you raped her 100 times.
I listened to this podcast where this teacher raped her student who was 12, and she was like, I didn't rape him. His dick got hard at me, and he came on to me. And we're like, ma'am, you're 40. He's 12.
Wait, but the baby.
What the fuck you y'all like with these little kids though? Like,
What is that? What is that?
y'all like a baby dick and stuff.
He said, baby dick.
That is crazy.
Okay, well, let's move on into Black Facts. Yes. So today on Black Facts, we're talking about Claudette Colvin. Do you know who this is?
I've heard of this human being.
I've never heard of her. Let's see who she is. Claudette Colvin is an activist who was a pioneer in the civil rights movement in Alabama during the 1950s. She refused to give up her seat on the bus before Rosa Parks' most famous protest. Oh, so, because you know Rosa Parks was light-skinned, so when a light-skinned
That's
bitch
exactly
do it,
what happened.
Get off the bus, Rosa. Okay.
Roseanne do nothing but sit her ass down.
Okay. Yes, I
She
heard of
really
it.
didn't do
'Cause
nothing but sit her ass down.
It was a lot of people that were already doing that shit.
But because Claudette
it was a
dark
holiday
skinned,
and it was Christmas and Rosa was light skinned.
I think because her
It's because
mugshot
she
was
was
pretty.
light-skinned.
Her mugshot was pretty.
and they came out and said that in order they would want, she was more marketable towards people than Claudette.
Because she was white looking.
And she was a little bit smaller.
She's attractive. Well, let's see here. She was arrested and became one of the 4 plaintiffs in of Brower v. Gale, which ruled that Montgomery's segregated bus system was unconstitutional. Colvin later moved to New York City and worked as a nurse aide and retired in 2004.
Girl, you
Damn, bitch.
is she still alive?
Yeah, I don't.
It says she is, but this was from
2018, so 2 years
it's
ago.
updated 2020. So
yeah, she's alive.
Yeah.
Early life, Colvin was born September 5th, 1939 in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
Growing up in one of Montgomery's poorer neighborhoods, Colvin studied hard in school. She earned mostly A's in her classes and aspired to become president one day. That didn't happen. On March 2nd, 1955, Colvin was riding home on a city bus after school when the bus driver told her to give up her seat to a white passenger.
That's
She
right.
refused, saying, "It's my constitutional right to sit here as much as it is as that lady. I paid my fare. It's my constitutional right." Colvin was then compelled to stand her ground.
That line is the line from the Rosa Parks story that Angela Bassett played. It's portrayed like that. It's not plagiarized, but that's basically the same
Angela
line.
Bassett played Rosa Parks?
You have not seen it.
How the hell Angela Bassett playing Rosa Parks?
Angela Bassett needs an Epcot. She needs every award in the world.
She's played
She is
Tina
queen.
Turner.
She has played a
Rosa
crazy
Parks.
lady. She's played Rosa Parks. She's been the crazy witch in American Horror Story. She did.
She been the wife who got cheated on
She
by the
did
baby
Malcolm
daddy.
X's
Yes,
wife.
and,
She did
911.
and then she
Yes.
does what?
Waiting to
Exhale.
Exhale, yes. She can never keep a man.
Yes, that basically
How
she
soon I got her
says
groove back? Was that Angela Bassett?
that was Angela
Yeah,
Bassett.
that was
She always looking for a man.
I'm telling you, she in every movie, and they still ain't gave her none.
She got no award.
Did you see her
Wait, she
beautiful
ain't got
dress?
nothing?
She ain't. I don't know. She ain't got nothing enough for us to know that she got it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? I know she
She
probably.
like
I'm
Whoopi
pretty
Goldberg.
sure she got
Well,
stuff.
she hasn't
but
got like Whoopi Goldberg is a she's
EGOT,
gotten
right?
she's an EGOT. She's gotten them
yeah,
all.
Whoopi and Viola Davis and
I'm
John
sorry.
Legend.
John Legend, yeah.
I'm sorry. She's been doing this for too long to not be an EGOT.
But Angela hasn't.
Oh well, Angela didn't sing on Tina
I was gonna
Turner.
say she-
It was voiceover.
Yeah, and also she has not.
But that was some good
But
ass
she did.
You see her
Yeah.
running them hills to the hospital in a white suit.
She said, "My name is Tina Turner." Literally, she says in the movie, she says that's the same dime that I put in there is the same dime that the white folks use. It's my right.
Damn.
It's
I felt
my-
like Sojourner.
Oh, that's my favorite.
I felt like
person.
Sojourner Truth was pushing down on one shoulder and Harriet Tubman was pushing down on the other, saying, "Sit down, girl," and I was glued to my seat. She
Damn.
later told Newsweek, after her refusal to give up her seat, Colvin was arrested on several charges, including violating the city's segregation laws. For several hours, she sat in jail completely terrified. "I was really afraid because you just don't know what white people might do at that time." Colvin later said that after her minister paid the bail, she went home where she and her family stayed up all night concerned for the possible retaliation. The National Association of Advancement of Colored People
NAACP.
briefly considered using Colvin's case to challenge the segregation laws, but they decided against it because of her age.
That's what they say.
She also became pregnant, and they thought it was an unwed mother would attract too much negative attention in a public legal battle. Her son Raymond was born March 1956, so she was a hoe, in other words.
She was 1939 to 56. She was what?
Too young to be unmarried.
17?
Yep. And in
Oh,
court,
okay. Well, maybe it was.
in court, Colvin opposed the segregation law by declaring herself not guilty. The court, however, ruled against her and put her on probation. Despite the life sentence, Colvin could not escape the court public opinion. The once quiet student was branded a troublemaker by some and had to drop out of college. Her reputation also made it impossible for her to find a job. Yeah, that's all I'm going to give you guys. You guys go check her out. That was your Black Fact for February.
That's beautiful.
That was
And
the last
just
Black
know,
Fact.
Rosa Parks won the first one. She really ain't do shit. It's just-
And that bitch couldn't even pay her bills because Papa John's, the owner, the CEO from Papa John's, been paying her rent for the last 25 years.
Before
She
that,
died.
and also tried to sue Outkast for them using her name like for a song. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my money.
I'm gonna get my money.
No. They just said Rosa Parks as the title, just like Coles is the title of a building. The song is the title of what it is. Look at me, my alert podcast with Kris and Karlos.
Oh, that's
okay,
cute.
I
She was
excited.
ready.
I was ready. I've been preparing.
She was ready.
I've been preparing, trying to
Let me
make
go ahead and take
sure.
the city bus down.
I'm trying
Well,
to
do you
make
have any
sure.
music for Cubicle Chronicles yet?
I don't.
Well, I'll find something before I edit this. But let's move on into Cubicle Chronicles. We're making good time. We're only 40 minutes in.
Only 40?
Only 40. Good time.
Should I go to HR if I get into the car with my director and she asks what kind of music you listen to, and immediately turns on ASAP Rocky fucking problems?
Is she white?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like
I wouldn't go to HR.
It's like what?
Well,
did
did you change the music?
It happened so.
No,
quickly.
did you change it though afterwards, or
I
did you
didn't
listen
change
to
it.
it? See, then you let her assume that was the type of music that you like to listen to.
You should go do that because I didn't have that opportunity when it happened to me at work the other day. My coworker offered me Hennessy because I said, "Can I have a drink?" And he said, "Do you want Hennessy?" I said, "Why do I want Hennessy?"
But I would love.
I would like a
Hennessy.
And
gin. I
then
respect
she
that.
backed
Go
it
to
up.
the- you need to
Then
go
she
to
backed it up. Oh, this is what my husband listens to all the time.
Is her husband black?
No, he's white.
But you have nothing.
And they're saying nigga and fuck bitches and fucking problems. So
I laugh bad bitches is my fucking problems. That one?
Yeah.
Was it censored or uncensored?
It
Was she like-
uncensored.
Wait, it was her personal music
she
on her phone.
searching
It
for
was
the song?
XM radio. She literally, hey, what do you listen to? Fucking problems just comes on. Like maybe it was just she was turning it a rap session.
But do you
to
think
rap.
did she attempt to try to change it?
To give you. Well, here's the thing. If Christopher was uncomfortable with this song, he should have asked. You should have asked her to change her song.
Were you uncomfortable?
I wasn't uncomfortable.
So then there's no.
Because
Why are you
that was
going to
your
HR?
song.
I like the song.
Because she knew it was your song. So why are you going
But
to
you
HR?
as a white woman should not just assume that
She
I
didn't
would like-
assume. She asked you. She put the song on, and she gave you an option, and you clearly said yes. So I don't see the problem.
I just feel like
I just feel like you've been lived in Seattle for too long. And everything hurt. Like she
It's such
said,
a weak-
she did not turn. Okay, now if she would have turned on the car, put the music on. I love bad bitches. That's my fucking problem. That's your shit, isn't it? Now that.
Right. I question
Go to
like
HR.
searching for a song.
But
for
if
you.
she said, "Hey, what do you like to listen to?" and then turned on a station that she didn't know. Now it would be different if it was
It
her
was
personal
XM radio.
but she didn't know it was that. Now if it was her personal phone or her
Okay.
personal music device,
That's what I'm
and then
asking.
she went-
That's what I'm saying.
And
Was
she-
she like sitting in the car searching? Like, what kind of song do you What kind of song? Like, look her iPad shuffle or something. Like,
Why
she
not
got
this?
She got hip hop categories.
I
Black
mean, she still
folks.
got an iPad
I
shuffle.
know. I literally just did it.
I'm almost there.
Why is she
A
still going in the circle?
Kendrick, right?
Flashback or something. It could have connected to
You
something. I
like,
don't know.
like that future, that DMX.
But no, I don't think. I think the
What's
fact
my
that
name?
she just because it could have been anything. It could have been City Girls. It could have been anything. So
It could have been anything.
If it was City Girls act up, I would have been like, okay.
Girl, Tim LeMay could have came on there. Take me to the king.
Take
You would've been
me
yes,
to
but leave
the
it.
king.
You never know. Maybe that
No,
was
I
the
don't-
moment for you. You
I
know?
picked up B today listening to what was I listening to some
I
Japanese.
have no idea.
That shit was popping
And I was
though.
just sitting there like, whatever.
It was Japanese. This Japanese rap
You
I've been
know?
listening to. These K-pops.
You don't even know.
Listen, I
You
found
don't
this little
watch
group.
anime.
I found this little group.
I need you to research some stuff on that and then put it on your next podcast and look at what's going on with the K-pop. Them kids.
Oh, you mean the ones that
yeah.
raping and
The
pillaging?
raping and pillaging and dying and shit. Yes, I already know.
Just because we didn't say anything about it, we
Just because you
don't.
don't say because I'm
Girl!
They over there raping and pillaging.
and they all, and it's,
And they
Jesus,
over there like
I'm telling you.
they up there injecting them with steroids just to keep them
Literally.
alive and keep them awake. Talking about getting to do another show. I was like, damn.
That is scary. Right.
But okay, so you I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, she's very, very nice. We had our meeting today and our sit down, went over like my training plan and what we're gonna be doing with me for the next year to coming up. So, I mean,
How do you like what do you call this place? What do you call this place?
I don't know. It ain't even that bad.
Cubicle?
I mean, I call it section the Cubicle Chronicles, but the building is at home.
You don't have problems like
Yeah.
sexual need.
No, I had the asylum and the box store. If you call somebody the asylum, you need to leave.
The asylum, yeah, I do. I have heard stories.
I
of
ain't
the
seen
asylum.
no crackhead.
In weeks.
I saw one today, but I was back into downtown Seattle catching the bus to go home. So
Well then,
Because this
Yeah.
building's in a nice part of downtown too.
that's good. That's
Right
good.
across the street from the police department.
sanctuary.
So ain't no one really fucking.
You gotta make sure you okay.
I can see the police department from my desk. So
See,
that's
the
how
thing
close
with
we are.
Seattle
Okay.
police is what I've learned is that I've never gotten pulled over. I've only had a problem with police is when white people call it on us.
Seattle police,
Never have they actually go out of their way to be, because they're too busy with real crackheads.
they don't have time.
They don't really have time to be
they
racist.
always picking somebody up and putting them in a stretcher.
Yes.
And there's always a protest downstairs when I
Right,
downtown.
they really
When I used
don't
to
have.
work downtown.
They don't have time to be racist. They really
Sergeant
don't.
Knox is the one. Sergeant Tex is the one. He literally like, I used to serve chicken wings to the captains and everything because they had to get ready for all the doggone protests that was happening. And I'm looking at these little light-skinned black kids yelling at these cops. I'm like, take that to Tennessee and yell. Take that to the South and get all the crump with that.
As a light skin?
Well, just in general, black folks doing that down in the South like that.
You
You
gonna
ain't
get
gonna spit on this sergeant. This man tips me. I give him his lemon pepper wings.
And he gives me tips?
gives me his
He
money,
gives me
his
food?
tips, and he comes
He
in
gives
with
me
a
sweets?
and he's a tall white man. And I walk up to him and I'm not afraid.
Without him, I would have no home.
Shoot, I have to protect folks in my profession. I gotta make sure. So I have to speak to the Seattle Police Department. So like at the end of the day, some of them I respect.
Yeah.
Some of them I am confused about. Okay, what's going on?
Boys,
with girl
stop.
over here? Don't
Go
be
lay
loud.
down. They're just playing.
The police didn't even call for the building.
Yeah.
Not there.
So it's going well.
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
Good.
They're
Congratulations.
paying for my certifications, so since I'm going to be doing HUD buildings now, I have to be certified.
Oh, okay.
So,
You brought your dog to work this week? I saw your.
last Friday.
Last Friday?
He
So,
brings them every Friday.
That's cool. That's really cool.
He can bring them every day if he wants.
yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh wow. So you like it?
He can work from home if he wants.
You really have a off day Friday, like a forever
Focus
Friday?
Fridays,
Focus
it's called.
Friday. You literally don't have to come to work.
I don't have to. I used to have to work from home.
Girl, let me get on
But
that.
that'll start in, I think, a few weeks, she
He's
said.
like, girl, let me
How
get
long
him.
have you-
And
how long have you
then I
been
can
there?
have more days off because I'll be doing HUD, so I can have more days off to be at home. I've been there since for like a month.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's truly amazing, man. Okay.
Well, let's move on. Wait. Hold on 1 second, guys.
I'm getting a new job for real.
I gotta get my song up.
They hire me.
Ooh, I ain't got no experience, so I can't even.
You,
I mean,
he said,
I can
you
sell
can start
a-
about. You can.
I know how to talk to somebody.
That's
I can
all you
talk.
need to know how to do.
I know how to hold a microphone and let people know what's up.
This is what you do. You find like buildings that have closed down, like management companies say, "Oh, I used to work for them, but they shut down."
And there's no way to figure it out.
So work from home on a Friday? I don't know. I'm gonna check that out for real. I'm tired of the club. I'm tired.
I'm
tired of Sugar Love TV.
For $70,000 a year, yes, you tired of the club.
Girl,
You can
I'm
work from
tired.
home.
Is it okay if I say girl? You know, I was telling you
Yeah.
in the car, people get all up.
Well, you guys
I'm
ready?
a girl.
You ready for the next segment?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Shh. Welcome to Watts Word of the State Book Club. But it's not the real book club. It's just what people thought. So in this segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to interview people who have read the book and get their insight and feedback. And then if you really want to get the deep, like one-on-one information, you can go and subscribe to the Watts Book Club on Instagram. It's $5 for your entry fee. And then you'll get one-on-one information. You'll be able to talk to me face-to-face every Sunday starting March 1st. We'll have lives once a week and I'll read chapter by chapter, going over what everything is. So with all that said, let's get into Watts Word of the State Reviews. All right, so V was one of the first people that I dropped the book. I think you were the first person I dropped the book off to. Or the second person. I dropped it off to Marnie first.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be in the top
You're
five.
the second
I
person.
appreciate that. Oh my gosh.
How did you like Ward of the State?
Oh wow. That book.
A Memoir of Foster Care.
I didn't know what I was going into, to be honest. But the first paragraph,
Damn.
I
That's
under.
good.
No, you said something about the the hookers on, I can't remember the line.
There were underbooked hookers, underbooked and overworked hookers on the corner.
Yeah, I just underlined that. And then I just kept reading. And so I just, well, I have realized that within that book, a lot of stuff that I've been through in my life, I can relate to, but on a different level, because some of the things that you went through, I went through the same thing, but with the blood relatives. And so I kind of had this like,
which can be harder sometimes.
Which made it harder, but also kind of made it a little bit easier because I was like, well, I don't know any better. That's my blood family. Yeah. This is not a. But the things that went down, I didn't think that it was wrong. So when I'm reading yours and I'm reading, the Beast or the Beasley, that one was the one that really got me the most because my aunt, the people that I grew up with after my mother passed away, did things like that with my siblings. I had just recently found out about that, like not even a year ago.
Oh wow!
So I found out that my aunt was taking the Social Security money and spending it on her children,
having the kids to work their ass off.
And my siblings are sitting outside with tape on their shoes, not even working there, not even doing stuff like that. Legitimately, just like
neglecting them.
Yeah, my aunt. Literally, my brother turned 18. I love you, bro. Turned 18, and she just dropped him off back in Tennessee. Just dropped him off, left him, and drove back up to
What did
Indiana.
he do?
Nothing. He was 18. She didn't have to take care of him no more. She got custody of all four of us.
Well, that's when the check stops.
Yeah, the check stopped. I didn't see, and I lived with my grandmother. I didn't see my checks until I turned 18. They were still giving me more checks. I stayed until May when I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. So the chapter. The fight that changed my life. I went through the same thing. So a lot of the readings, like Daddy wasn't there, Mama come back. Those two chapters are literally my parents. My dad has literally tried to pull me out of the arms of my mother and say, we like fighting over me.
And I think I would what do you feel like you would have been better off with your father?
No, because he's also dead.
So, and I feel like, did you also see that in the book where I did find him?
I saw that,
and it was just like
my father was a drug addict as well.
Exactly.
But see, my uncle, God bless him. My dad, literally, his arms, he didn't have no legs.
Your dad didn't have no legs?
He was amputee. Yeah, he had diabetes real bad, and they were chopping him off like a damn salad. Like they were chopping him up. They cut off his foot, then they cut off his toe, then they cut off his foot, then they cut off his.
Was that just because of his diet?
Because of diabetes. Because it was literally diabetes. People don't realize that shit will kill you if you don't take care of it.
Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself.
It will literally rot out your body. It rots you out. That's the crazy part. It literally rots you out. So when that happened, when I was reading that one, when you said all I could do was look up and say, when he said, "What the fuck? Who the fuck you looking at, nigga?" And all I could do look up and say, "Dad." Like, my dad came to my school to pick me up one day after school. I was in kindergarten, and I saw my mama, and I ran to her. She pointed at my dad, and he had his arms out, but I didn't know who he was because he was so high. Yeah. And I was like, I said, "Who is that?"
He was just so scrawny. I was just like,
she said, "Who is that?" And I said, "Who is that?" She said, "That's your dad." And I was like, "Oh, Daddy." He was bald and everything. Mm-hmm. And I just ran up to him and put me on his shoulder. That's the last major memory I remember of that. I didn't see him again and get back in touch with him until I was in college when I turned 20. Jeez. Like right before he died. I highlighted it and everything, or put some stars next to it. A lot of those came, that book. A lot of it came, and what I'm learning as I'm growing up is like, I have to be a better person, be successful, and do what I'm trying to do in my life and make it, because I'm the first in my family to do this.
Come on.
I need people like Karlos, because one of my favorite inspirations is Tiffany Haddish, and I read her biography, and when I read his, I feel a lot more relatable, just like Tiffany, like I was with Tiffany Haddish's biography. Mm-hmm. And seeing how successful she is. Have you seen a preview of the Madam C.J. Walker movie? Mm-hmm. The stuff that's coming out on Netflix? Yep. Like, she is working next to one of the greatest actors in the world, Octavia Spencer. We were just talking about her. But reading that, I'm like, I need to work on these things. And now that I'm like actually trying to do that, I'm looking for a therapist. I'm trying to figure out.
But you have to acknowledge, like, these chapters, I think Christopher will kind of be the only person that could really understand what this was therapy. Writing this whole book.
Right. Yeah.
Just writing it was therapy to just work through it, like we were talking about in the car, just like forcing yourself to remember. And it's the same thing that they're going to make you do in real therapy.
Right.
And sometimes I was in therapy when I was writing the book, sometimes I wasn't in therapy.
Okay.
But writing this book was a therapeutic way because it would be physically exhausting. And I don't think people understand, like, in therapy is physically exhausting when you're working through those issues and you're working through those emotions. And I would be writing, and then I would look at Kris, I would be like, damn, I didn't even remember, like, that really happened to me like that, you know? And it's very, very, it's emotionally exhausting, but it's worth the work.
Right.
And once you put that work in, like anything else seems like so easy.
Yeah.
Like so easy, you know?
Like I read this book literally in a whole day. Like I read to a certain amount, put a block in it, ate food, came back and finished the book. And I closed the book, did the post, and I closed my eyes and tears just ran down my face.
Aww.
I let it out because like the trick bikes, abuse, and peg legs. That's when you're talking about are we allowed to speak about the book?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're talking about the lady putting you in the bathtub with the hot water and the bleach, my aunt put me in a cold tub.
With
sat
bleach?
there. No, not bleach.
Oh,
She
okay.
just sat there and laughed
For
that
why?
I was freezing.
For what reason?
I don't even remember. Only thing I remember is being literally shivering in that tub. And listening to her cackle. She was the cracked out one.
That's not funny.
It's funny because she was the
It's
cracked
funny
out one.
now, but as a
I'm
child, that shit is
just
fucking
looking
I
at
can't
it like
even think about the
whenever
fact-
people tell stories, I look at it like it's a movie. And
It
I'm
is
just
a
like,
movie.
She gonna be on the tub smoking a cigarette.
It was like
Sing it, Tub.
It was like Kimberly Elise on that Black Woman when she
They
looked up.
have movies like that.
Yo,
right
yeah,
now.
she's like, stop making
Stop blowing all them bubbles.
That's
Okay.
the thing I got in my
Girl,
head.
I'm telling you, and I hadn't thought about that in like forever. And reading that, I'm just like, you need something like that to be able to process. I need some kind of guidance to know because, like, I know that okay, let me go to therapy. I want to go. I'm not.
And that you also know somebody else went through it too.
Right, to know that like as what y'all have, like both of y'all as a couple, like me seeing you guys, and like I said, I've always cared. And I remember when I was like trying to talk to y'all on Instagram Live, and I'm like, it's V, and y'all were like, who the hell is this V person trying to talk to us, girl? Kris was like, who the fuck is this? I was like, it's a security guard from our place. I just wanted to say hello. Like,
Well, I'm glad you were persistent.
I was persistent because I knew I had saw something different in both of y'all. And then reading this book and being like, yo, I support it. I didn't know what I was stepping into. I was ready to just support because I see you as a successful human. I see you as somebody that I could be. Like, I could get to that point too. Like, if you doing it, I
I'm
can
definitely
do it, you know?
anybody. I'm no one.
That's what I'm saying.
One.
That's
but
why
you know
I
what
know.
though? Like talking to people who've been from my struggle, because I definitely talk to people who are better than me. And I aspire to them, just like you aspire to me. So those are people in my life. But then it's also good to talk to people who come from where you come from, who haven't made it as far as you just yet, and be like, yo, it's okay to appreciate. Because a lot of times I'll sit here and I'll be like, babes, I fucking suck. I ain't got no job. Kris, like, you have a whole career. Like
Like a career.
you have a whole, but then some days I just feel like I'm useless, but then that's just my still working with my issues of feeling insignificant, feeling abandoned, feeling not wanted, you know? And then it's good to hear you say like, I want to be where you are. Because right now I feel like I ain't nowhere. I'm just like, man, I want to, but then it brings me back to, we used to live in a trailer, like not even a trailer, like a fifth wheel. Like
See, that's what I'm
5
saying,
years
like,
awe hustled to get.
That's what
but
it's
we
about. And
manifested
that's why I don't
this.
have That's why I don't have to be all like. So like I respect where I come from and everything like that, but like with this, like for me with my family and like the stuff that I have been through, I'll tell them all the time like, I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back to get you, or come up here with me. And I'm thinking,
Don't bring him up here.
I will be the first one to let you know.
No.
I tried it.
It's not work.
Tried it. It never. No matter how good your intentions are,
they see
But
you as that same person from years ago.
There's one thing that I've always wanted in my life is to make sure that my family was successful. After my mom changed that mentality for us.
You know what's crazy though? I know once I become a millionaire, I will save my whole family, even though none of them
I'm
niggas
telling
deserve
you,
it.
it's gonna happen.
None of them deserve
it.
But I will set them up to just so their future
the
generations.
Out aunt who put me in the cold bath. I told her, I said, if you can get your shit together and I get to be where I want to be in the next couple of years, I will set up a payment arrangement. I will set up rules and regulations on what you can and cannot do.
Can you share that? You can share it.
What you can and cannot do, and then I want you to cooperate with me doing that. And I even told her a plan. I have a plan for my aunt. I have a plan for my sister.
You have a plan for everybody.
For everybody.
So speaking of the peg legs, Kris has actually met her.
Yeah, she's.
When I was 19 years old, I went back to as many places as I could, and I didn't have a map. I didn't know these people's names besides Miss Bigsley with the peg leg. And I didn't give you, and I went by heart. Kris was like, Kris was, he and my brother went with me, and they were getting annoyed because it took me a couple of hours. It wasn't I remember it, but I started being no. And I made my way to certain homes and then knocked on doors. People weren't there. And then there's this last house. My brother was like, I'm ready to go home. I was like, let me just go. I really want to go to this house. And I got to that street and I was like, this is it.
Wow.
This is it. And I knocked on her daughter's door first. I knocked on the daughter who was nicest to me. Mm-hmm. And I think that she was Pooh's mom. Mm-hmm. And I think that she was that was Pooh's mom in the book. She was the nicest one to me. And then we went over to Cynthia's house, who was also in the book. And they're like, oh, Karlos' house. And then we went back to Miss Bigsley, and Miss Bigsley was like, well, you tired of that curse, ain't you? And I was like, damn, yes, I am. But I spoke about the curse in this book, but I really remember in the chapter when I said there was I heard slamming of the doors.
Right.
And
this was the lady that was the spiritual one that was doing stuff. Yes.
So there are things that are in this book that you probably wouldn't notice, but it's gonna take you to the second book. That chapter is very important in the second book because that shit followed me until I was about 20 years old, and I had to go back and apologize to her.
We just stopped seeing fucking
and
ghosts.
we just stopped seeing ghosts.
Wow.
And she was just like, I knew you would come back. I knew you would get tired of it. And I was like, I am tired of it. Can you take this shit off? I had been hit by a car. My body had been 80% inoperational.
Girl, let me see.
I got adopted, and then my adopted parents gave me back. I was homeless. I was like, can you take this shit off?
True.
I gave the
Speaking of you saying that, I wanted to ask about the family the best Christmas that you had.
So that's the best Christmas. So the ending of the book, I was going to end with that. How did you like that ending? Okay, so we like the beginning, we like the middle. How did you like the ending? Because the ending was actually my second ending. The first ending was actually right after I met them when they came with the scrapbooks. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about in the podcast, go buy a fucking book. You'll know what I'm talking about. But when I was looking at the scrapbooks with them and they had left, and I went up to Joe and I was like, hey Joe, look at my family. And we sat there on the bunk beds looking through the pictures, and then I never confirmed or denied if I got adopted. But my editor was like, no, you can't do that because you brought these people through all of these fucking homes with you.
I do have to say, if you were writing a play, it would be you would need to do that to make, because I'm a playwright. Mm-hmm. So you want to give them the illusion. But if we're reading this book with you, I think the ending was perfect. Okay. I think only saying, I'm your mother now, Karlos Diller ending it, that will, like I said, when I got done reading, I just closed it and I was like, and I just closed my eyes and tears came. It settles you, because what the lady says on the back, what the scripture says on the back is this will take you through what he went through also. And
that's about to go through in an hour.
And it was.
Did I not say?
I stopped, had to go eat. And then I came back. I read it in a day. Don't get me wrong.
But did you?
I honestly feel like this
ending
is gonna save a lot of lives. I feel like it's gonna save. It gave me hope to think that, you know what, girl, you can do this too. You all right. I think it's an inspiration because you had just talked about, what's their names? I just had
The gums.
No, you
Oh, the
just talked
Beasleys?
about not the Beasleys, the Millers. Oh, we didn't talk about the Millers. I'm going to bring up the Millers.
We can go back and talk about them.
The Millers. You had just said, I didn't know if I should like say anything. Then this time I was just like, you know what? I'm just tired of it. You just started to realize, you know what? Where am I going now? What's happening here? Who am I going to be with? And I can relate to that so much. I was always in somebody else's house. I was always moving around. I wasn't in foster care, but like I was 16 when my mother passed away. From then on, I didn't know how to do anything. I still sometimes don't know what's going on half the time. And it's like I was bouncing.
If you ever have any questions, let us know.
White folk to white person, the pastor, the bishop to this person, and this person touched me, then this person told me this. Me getting raped in Ohio, well, touched in Ohio. While I'm going fall break in college.
Jeez.
And I come home to meet. No, it's okay. I come in to see my siblings, and I go in a house to go. I went outside to see them because my cousin says, "Oh, they're sitting outside." Well, why are they sitting outside? I said, Treese won't let them in the house. Why? I would drive my siblings to the library at 9 a.m. and then come back and get them until 9 p.m. While that's happening, I'm running from house to house, getting preyed on by people. Like this lady used to mess with me. Her name was Mercedes. That was her name.
You going to jail, Mercedes?
Call them out.
Mercedes used to do. What's
the last name?
She preyed on me. She was 32. I was 17.
Do you know her last name?
I don't know her last name. This is her. This is a different name. But I don't even know that last name. But at first it was all like, maybe it was there for me. Maybe I was doing that. But she had the characteristics of
The Beasleys,
the Millers,
the Millers,
and
they just don't. They turn a blind eye.
Yeah, and nothing never really happened between us, but like we were like there's this like cereal bar. See, my family did a lot of like poetry and like late night, like, super soul shit. Like that was my family. So being 17 and not having nobody to say no to, I was in the clubs with them too. Like people didn't know what was going on when I was there. They didn't know what my age was. I just led through with them. And we were at this slam and we were outside smoking a black and mild, and she like groped my finger real sexually to get the black and mild out of my hand. Ew, like she would do little stuff like that, or she would come pick me up from school when I didn't have a ride to get back home, and we'd be in the gas station, and she would just like, like
creepy.
But she was fine as hell though. That was also the problem.
See?
You know what I'm saying?
You can't be like, I was touched, but that bitch was fine.
She was.
I think that's why I'm attracted to old white men, because Mr. Rover was fine as fuck. Mr. Rover was fine, and he was rich.
The punk by a punk?
Punk by a punk.
That motherfucker pissed me off, bitch. Ooh! I said, that's my new line. That's my favorite. When you said that, I had to keep rewinding it. I kept rewinding it.
But like that shit really happened. And like he really happened. But that's why I can read people, because I've been played like literally my whole life. Like I know if you're lying to me or not. Like I've been played.
I ain't got time for
that. Like I don't have I've been played for my whole virginity. Like no.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Talking about your virginity. Tip in.
Man, that was my cousin. My cousin went crazy. I tell people, you keep saying something to somebody, they gonna start believing it. Jennifer Lewis said it. She said, "You sit in shit too long, it's gonna stop smelling."
It'll start smelling.
Like it literally. And she was they would always say that she would be the one that would go crazy. She would blah blah blah. And now she is. That woman would pull the pillow up and scoop me up a little bit to get me positioned. And she's gross. And it was just like, I was like, get off, you ain't finna try to start doing it, get off me. Like I was screaming real loud, tell her leave me alone, because that's the crazy part. Nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I was where is it? Black Booger Burger, girl, I've dragged some people too.
I got expelled.
I have dragged a whole, wrapped up her pigtails in my hand, and
she
was like,
away.
Like Russell
They done
Simmons.
put you into the mental school.
It was in church. It was at a women's
Oh,
conference.
listen,
It was at a women's conference, girls. Women's
the
conference.
Lord allowed this.
And my mother had separated us and everything. She called mother fat and bald headed. And my mama told me that she said that. So my black ass ran back up the stairs. And I ran in that door. She was like, yeah, bitch. I was like, yeah, bitch, let's go. I was in the church. I was in
The Lord's
Girl.
Yes, bitch.
Yes, bitch. Yes.
Girl, I wrapped her up. I was so traumatized about everything that was going on. I was getting touched by my, but things was happening and all that. My mom, family, all that was going on. And I realized that when I read that, I was like, that's why I was lashing out so much. And then we became homeless. We were living in an infested rat house.
Woo.
Next to a field. We didn't even know.
Woo.
We didn't even know. And so that all was in my head. And that's why I realized when she said something about her mama was stealing, which her mama was stealing, she gonna steal a whole meal from the restaurant. She ordered 2 meals and wrapped up one of the meals in her napkin and put it in her purse. And we were all just like having a Sunday dinner. She ordered 2 meals and stole it. Yeah, and then she said, oh, you said mama was stealing? I said, she was stealing. She said, well, come on. And that's when we started fighting.
She ordered 2 meals. Who paid for? Did she send one back?
No, she ordered 2 meals,
Uh-huh.
and I remember her wrapping up that meal or wrapping up the chicken and and I don't.
Who paid for it?
I don't. It was on a tab. It was like a whole church family thing.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
okay.
When I was reading
I was
your
like, she
book,
paid for
moments
this.
like that was popping in my head, and I was like, "Bitch, that's what." Like it was in my head. Like,
Bitch, that's why all the chicken was gone.
Literally. I grabbed it. We'll call her Jamie.
Talk about her name.
We'll call her Jamie.
Well, overall, are you excited for the second book? Are you excited to see what happens with this adoptive family?
I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready because that ending, you have to have a good beginning and your middle is great, it's perfect, but that ending has to seal it. And I think that last paragraph to that dash, Karlos Dillard sealed the book to prepare for the next, I think.
And I dropped the second name of the book in this book. A lot of people don't know, but the name of the second book is in this book. I think like 3 times.
Really?
And I dropped it in there. And it's a phrase that I repeated that was like something that I wanted. And I was like, every time I was like, man, I can't wait. It was usually when I was sleeping and I was dreaming of something and I was manifesting.
Your forever life or something like that?
Yeah, but it's I can't get it out. If you go back and look, it's in there, Kris.
Go read the book again.
If I find it,
I'll give you a shout out on the next book.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
It's in there at least twice.
Because I told you, I'm over here working like I'm studying this book. But
I'll give you a hint. WPF is the acronym.
Okay, I got you. I know what it is. Y'all look, y'all don't believe me, but I read this book and I throw through. This is gonna help me get to a point, and I'm thankful to have something to go to and to be to somebody that's next to me and be able to do that because we see all types of people in our lives that give us inspirational books and stuff like that to get through and everything.
These weren't ready by the time I gave you your book.
Okay.
But these are ready now. So like that's the classroom. That remember the desks that fold up.
Oh yeah.
So that's the classroom I got taken away in. That's my dad. That's my siblings and I when we're doing our visit. Another visit. You can't really see him, but there's a man right there. That's Dion, Satan's spawn.
Dion went to jail.
And then on the back of it, I actually have a letter that I wrote my mom when I was in foster care, and I transcribed it.
Wow.
And yeah, when she died, I found letters that I wrote her, and she had kept them all. So definitely, guys, go check out Water of the State.
Yes.
Watts. It's available on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, local bookstores here in Seattle. You can definitely go on www.carlosdiller.com and get your copy. I have like 30 original first copies left that I'm signing. After that, you're just going to get second editions. And who wants a second edition when you can get the first edition? Because they're going to be worth something. And with that, V, thank you so much for supporting me and reading the book.
Yeah,
I really
problem.
appreciate it. I really do.
I appreciate being able to have something like that, honestly.
Oh, this is yours. You can keep that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, let's move into what we are watching.
We watched Parasite when I made this.
Have you seen Parasite?
It's in Korean, but it's actually very good.
It's pretty good, but I think people over.
It got a 99%
And it wasn't. I gave it
Oh.
a 75. It was a good movie, but
Yeah.
it wasn't what everybody was trying to say it was. But I think it had some deeper meaning about the socioeconomics in Korea that went over our head. But I'm just like, everybody's poor here,
Right.
so too. So,
So,
which one did you want to? Is there a second
something the
one?
Lord made.
Woo! Something
That
the
shit
Lord
was
made.
emotional as fuck.
I'm
Do
not
you
good-
know
I'm
he
not
became
good
a
at
doctor
that.
at like 86? The fuck I'm gonna do now? Well, I need
The
my
doctor
back
who
pay.
actually came on History and John, what was it, John Hopkins?
At John Hopkins.
At John Hopkins, like literally couldn't do the surgery without the black man helping him. Like over his, like
And I'm
specifically
making
requested.
$12 a week
And
to
he's
pay rent.
the same amount he was doing heart surgeries, making the same amount as a janitor.
Now,
And then,
mind
and
you,
then what?
the
Then,
doctor lives-
and then wait, and then the actual janitor, because he had his little white, his like lab coat and his like necktie, and he thought he was making good money because before he was only making what, like 12 cents a day, and it went to $12 a day. So he thought he was making, great money with $12 a day compared to $1 a day. So
Right.
when
That's
the
like Hidden Figures.
when the janitor was like, "You ain't nothing special. You make the same as much as me." And he's like, and he was like, "You make $12?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm class 3. You class 3." And he went as the administration lady. She's like, "Yeah, you're janitorial." And he goes,
I do surgery. I have a white coat.
He goes, "No,
Bitch,
I'm a lab
cutting up hearts.
I'm a lab technician." And she's like, "Well, it's still it's level 3, the same pay as a janitor." And then he quit. And then the guy gave him a raise.
$25. He got a $25 a month raise or some shit like that. So
Oh,
he got $4 more. He got $16 a week. He could pay rent.
But he can pay rent.
I want to know how much rent was. Cause can I go back?
Okay, girl.
I wanted the same job I have
I
now.
need to know what
I
house,
go back.
girl, is we living in the, we went on up to the east
Right,
side,
'cause he
or we
was
going down
working
to
in
the
the
west?
hospital and stuff. You know,
No, people be.
I could live in that time frame.
Christopher,
The same
but
amount.
here's the
A
thing.
lot of them advocates
This-
out there, though, they were kind of living
The
all
same
right.
thing though. My father said that he was trying to get a job for $10 an hour so he can make $20,000 a year. That's less than what we pay in rent. So you could just like put it in.
$10 an hour still. Is that
People in
legal?
Detroit, yes, the minimum wage is still
It's still
$7.75.
on other areas, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's 16.
But they rent
it's
$300 for a 2-bedroom house.
It's $16.25 downtown. That's what I was making at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Downtown Seattle.
Yeah, on 4th.
And
I was
that
making
still
six-
ain't no
and that
money
ain't
here.
jack.
That is
32,000
no
maybe.
money
That wasn't
here.
jack because I'm paying $12.50 in Fremont, and then I can't even survive because the bitch don't want to get no damn car to walk in the city and park everywhere, and I can't even. It was nothing.
You gotta
Even
make
if
at
we
least
working-
to live here comfortably. You have to make at least $80,000 a year to live without.
The
And you're
median-
still gonna be living paycheck to paycheck. If you
As
don't budget
of
yourself right.
2019, the median income in Seattle was $108,000. And the reason why it's so high is because we're full of tech people here that it throws off the median incomes everywhere. It skews it to their favor.
They're even
And
hiding
then
buildings.
that's why all the rents go up and everything is because like, oh, people here, the median income is $100,000. They can pay $2,000 a month in rent.
Which we
You
do.
can,
Yeah,
but it's
but
like
y'all need to take
No.
into consideration all
I
the
have walked
factors.
downtown and saw homeless folks I saw a homeless apartment complex.
That was Chris's
motherfuckers
old
have-
job.
They had when I worked downtown Buffalo, I'm talking about they had a whole. You go in through the door, they had 2 little boxes,
And
but it was like a stove. They had their own little hot heating area. They had stuff hanging up.
One
They
bother
had
nobody.
They had
And this
car.
man-
They had fucking concierge.
I mean, it was a whole
concierge.
place.
Yes.
A whole place. They had platters. They had white platter. I mean these.
They are the living.
They got what is that
Homeless.
niggas? They got valet.
This
Let
man
me park
that
your
came
bag
out-
over here. Let me park your car.
Park your buggy.
Man came out in a whole suit with a suitcase, business suit with a. I mean, I didn't see people walk
Because
out
it's
the streets
hard
like that.
out here.
It's crazy. You one paycheck. Sometimes I think about that, but then it's like where I live at now. I pay cheaper, but I went down to one
You live in
job.
I like your view. You have a very nice
It really
view.
is very nice. I do. People come out there like during New Year's and everything. People. I mean, I could almost pay and make an event or something and do something out there. And definitely, because I mean that view it's the Space Needle. And you look around, I feel like I'm on top of the world. You know, I feel like so now I feel like with me being stable like that, then yeah, I mean, but I can't imagine a man making $25 A month.
With a family of 3.
And y'all survived.
I wouldn't even think, and he's surviving. That's the
And
thing.
he's
But
happy.
he was literally trimming up hearts and evening them out and placing them in people's chests.
He came up with whole techniques.
Techniques and made
As
new
to why
instruments.
cardiac
It made new
plastic
instruments.
surgery
And he was
is a
only
thing
getting
now.
$25
And then they took his
a month.
instruments and didn't even pay him for his instruments.
And they would use his instruments.
Yeah.
And they would use
They couldn't
him.
do the surgery without his instruments
Yeah.
that he made in his garage.
Y'all owe me some
Man.
money.
Well, black folk, queer folk been making your, what do you say, your True Blood? He been brewing your brew, stirring your food, kissing your babies.
And that's why y'all don't. That's why that white lady at the. I was at a comedy show. She's talking about some. I've been trying to eat more vegetables. Like, how do you make them taste better? And I did.
Salt and
I was like
pepper.
salt and pepper. She's like, oh.
Like,
And then I was like, and then I went up and I was just like, do you guys wash your leg? And she's like, yeah. I take the soap and I just like run it down my leg. And I was like, that's not wash.
you better been
So do
obeying
you
school.
use like a rag?
White folks don't use rags. They don't use rags.
They use that soap and they rub it across the
They
That
do.
is so
Look, you
nasty.
need to lavender.
And that's why they always have that film
That
on
is
them.
so
They
My
never
lo-
wash it
ooh,
at all.
you speaking truth. I have a lovely white girlfriend. I do.
You have a
She's
white
very
girlfriend?
white. She's white. She is.
Did you- when you
but
post
she
on
know what's
Instagram?
up. Yes, that's
Okay.
my new boo. But I do let her know.
Does she wash her legs?
We gonna wash legs. Oh no, she know because she was like, well, I'll just. I said no. We gonna get you your own loofah when you come over here. We'll have your shower stuff too, and make sure you get in the shower, do what you gotta do. I don't play that. No.
Taking this vibe in the shower. You wash your ass.
Well, that was what we were watching. Let's move on into the word of the week.
Yes.
It's the word of the week. The word of the week. Eek. Yeah.
Brought
This
to you
week.
by Parasite.
Oh,
This week on the word of the week. You know what kind of plan never fails? No plan.